So the series obviously started in Manchester, where I live. But the first job I got on the Road to Anywhere Journeyman series was at Fortuna Köln in the German 3rd Division. We had a great season there. I loved it. It was great to be in a country that I am part of. And we had a great season. Took them out through the playoffs. It was fantastic. Then I thought I was going to the Italian 2nd Division. Didn't read the small print. I joined a team that had just been relegated. So we sidestepped it into the Italian 3rd Division with VOLCANO. Great club, great history. And a team that we then took out through the playoffs. But not only that, I won the Italian Serie C Cup and I met a great assistant manager. An assistant manager I then took to my next job further south in Italy at Salernitana. A team I joined because they looked good, but really I liked the logo. The logo was sweet. And once my assistant joined me there in my 2nd season, things kicked on to a whole new level. We won the Italian Cup, we played in Europe, but most of all we won the Serie A in my last season. But then I decided to resign. I wanted a new challenge. I wanted to go to France, and that's where I went. The smaller Paris team turned me down, give the job to someone else, but then the Marseille job came up. I went for the interview, got the job at a team that I absolutely love. Loads of respect for Marseille. I thought, a couple of years here, try and win the league, it'll be amazing. But it was more than amazing. We found a new tactic, we won back-to-back league titles and Champions League, and that was it. My job was done. But then I was inspired to go east, to the Far East, to China. But where was I going to end up? So I'm guessing that you guessed that I'm in China. And if you guessed that I'm in China, you've guessed right. So at the end of the last episode, I threw it out to you guys to help me decide. I decided though, so I was hoping you'd all agree with me. And you did. So I resigned. I left Marseille. I thought it was going to be a project, maybe a couple of years. Battle it out with Paris Saint-Germain and win the title. But success came quick. And I was taken aback by that. So my 2 years at Marseille was great. It was definitely time to move on. Now, there wasn't any jobs about. So the idea was I was going to resign and go on holiday. But then I got a comment from a very good friend of mine. Another YouTuber who you'll find his channel on my main page. It's called The Unflushable. Go check him out. Great guy. He's doing you a favour by not showing you his face. Nah, I'm only joking. He's a very, very handsome man. I would. I'm not even gay, but I would. But yeah, he said to me, what about China? And it was a light bulb moment. Honestly, I thought, what a great idea. Now, China's league starts in January, which means I can just have a couple of months on holiday. No one will forget who I am. And start then. Brilliant. I had to load the league up. I went on holiday with the wife to Disneyland with my son. It was great. And then the Chinese league started in January. And there was quite a few jobs came up, right? Now, you might know this, you might not. But if you're well into a save, like we are here, we're 8 years into this, nearly 9 years in, and you load up a league, especially a league like China, the computer has to fill out all the gaps. So some teams don't have managers, staff, and they'll fill out loads of players. You'll get regen players, and we've got a few decent ones. I've definitely stepped back a level or two, or maybe even 3 doing this, but I'm super excited. I am super excited for this. Honestly, I'm buzzing for it. Like, super buzzing for it. If you're buzzing for it, while you're here, why not smash the like button? If you are brand new, feel free to subscribe. And if you're bored after this, why not go and check out my Denton Villa series? Like anything, people watch it in the beginning and stop watching it over time. But this is the kind of series that gets better over time. So you guys who maybe watched it at the beginning and now don't watch it anymore, you're missing out. I love that series. It's quality. Go check it out. Episode 32, best one yet. Thank you very much. Right then. So I'm in China, but where am I in China? I didn't want to go to the top. The job was available at the 2 biggest clubs. I wanted a good club. I wanted a project. So where did I go? I ended up at Beijing. Now, it's the capital of China, but they're not the biggest club in China. Is it Guangzhou? I think they're the most successful team. They've won a lot of league titles. In this universe, the current champions are, I think it's Jiangsu, I think you call them. But the favourites are Shanghai Shangang. I love the names in this league. Blimey. So there's about 5 jobs, and all them jobs are available. It was like the top 5 teams didn't have managers. But Beijing just shouted out to me for different reasons. One is they play in green, which is completely random, I think. I'm not sure we're going to be able to see each other on the pitch, but I just thought it was quite cool. They've got a big stadium, good facilities. They're up there. They're like a sleeping giant of Chinese football, right? They've only ever won the league title once. They've won a couple of FA Cups, and they've never won the Asian Champions League. This is perfect. This is the kind of team I wanted to come to. Something with a good base I can build on. Try and win them a title. But the aim of this job, and I'm not leaving, hopefully, unless I get sacked. I'm not going to leave Beijing until they win them a Champions League. That's what I want. Beijing is an amazing city. When I was looking for pictures, and obviously it's got the old parts, like the Forbidden City, but the new modern city is insane. It's like a modern American city. And I always think of China as communist. They're not really into capitalism, which they obviously are now. But are they still communist? I've no idea. You hear good things about China, and you hear bad things about China. I love Chinese food, but my friend went to China, and he said it's not like over here. Our Chinese food is like English Chinese food. He said in China it's weird. Everything has its head, and they keep their eyeballs on it, which is just strange. But okay, I'll try it out. I never turn my nose up at stuff. I always try food. I'm not fussy. But we play at the Workers' Stadium, which, you know, it's not a modern stadium, but I think it's probably been done up over the years. It was built in 1959. It's big though. We don't own it, so that's another thing I can aim for, to try and buy the stadium. I think it's council owned, probably government owned, not the Chinese. Dodgy bastards. But we've got good training facilities. The data analysis facilities aren't very good. State-of-the-art youth facilities, which we're going to need because, like, one of the other reasons I wanted to do this is I've done many Chinese experiments. I did one when I worked for FM Scout a couple of years ago. I did one last year, and I've done one this year on my channel. And it's great. I've had fun doing it. But I've never managed in China. Ever. In my 20 plus years of playing, I've never managed it, so it's all new culture, new rules, and it's new rules definitely. You know, new teams and all that. It's exciting. Asian Champions League. Have I ever played in that? I don't know if I have. So it's all new. I'm excited. But it's going to be a weird challenge because they've got some weird ass rules. Not that bad. It's not like America. But one thing I do know is the youth rating in this country is really bad. Regens are not going to be great. The history's not been great for Beijing. The league's been around for a while, but they've only ever won the league once, and that was in 2009. So it's been a while, and they've won 3 FA Cups, right? And a Super Cup a couple of times, which is like a charity shield, right? So it's loads to aim for. Bring some glory to Beijing. Now at this point, I've just taken the job, and we're predicted to be 5th. But one thing I realised, I've looked at Shanghai, Jiangsu, Guangzhou, and Huexing, whatever they're called, and even some of the teams below us were all very similar because we've all got foreign players which all tend to be real, and we've got a couple of real players here and there, but then the computers have to fill out the rest of the squads with regens who aren't young, regens who are like 26, 27, 28. We've got a couple of good ones, but a lot of the good ones have gone to Jiangsu. Look at the dream team there. So yeah, they've got a good team. Shanghai have got a good team, but we're pretty similar. And once I add the human element to Beijing, I do things better than the computer. We all should do. I'll make better staff decisions, better tactics, better choices, and I'll sign a few good players, hopefully. I will. So I'm excited, and I don't think we'll be 5th. We need to get in the top 4. Really, we need to get in the top 3. And that's because continental qualification, the top 3 teams qualify for the Champions League. But the 4th team will as well, only if some random team below you doesn't win the FA Cup. If you win the FA Cup, that 4th spot goes to you unless you're already in the top 3. Do you get me? Rules-wise, the prize money isn't very good. Now, I've got a bit of money at this club, and I think a few of the other teams have got some money. So there's money, obviously, getting pumped into the league. But it's not through prize money. Pretty appalling, to be fair. Now, transfers and leagues, rules, and all that stuff. I'm not 100% sure it's here. Let's have a look. Now, one thing... Match rules, you've got to have 1 Chinese player under 23 in the starting 11 every time you play. You can only have 4 foreign players, but one thing I do know, yeah, there it is. You can only have 3 foreign players in your squad for I want to say Europe. Continental football, so that messes you up a bit. I know as well, you can only sign 5 players a season who are over 23. So you can't just go out there and buy all the best Chinese players. You can only get 5 a year. So it's a process you have to build up on, but I think we will. Hopefully, over time. And From an older experiment, I remember in China you can only ever have Chinese goalkeepers, but luckily they've scrapped that. I always thought it was a bit positionist, because why not just Chinese left backs or Chinese right wingers? So yeah, that's scrapped, luckily, because one of my good regens is a goalkeeper and he's not Chinese, and weirdly he's not even classed as a foreigner, which is an absolute bonus. Looking at my finances, we've got 107 million in the bank with 40 million to spend. That's pretty good. It is pretty good, but from experience now from playing this, there's not a lot of players that want to come really. There's a few, but they're usually pushing into the 30s. The good players over here, they'll be great players, but you know, it's something that's going to have to grow. I think this first year, because I've just started the league, or I know because I've just started the league, a lot of big teams are quite similar. This is the kind of league that will get better year on year. So I'm hoping I can stay here for a couple of years and keep you interested, because I think the league will get harder once the cream of the crop will start rising and start making proper transfers. I think it'll be a lot better. Plus, I didn't think about it, but I've just activated the Brazilian and Argentinian leagues, but they won't come into effect till next season. So that'll be a whole load of new players eventually. Now, we've got some good players, like I said. Ji-Sung at the top. He's really good. He doesn't fit the tactic, but I've got a player called Ben Mult in my Dent Villa series. Go check it out. Similar kind of player who's forced into this tactic, and it works for him. I'm hoping it'll work for Ji-Sung. He's an attacking central mid, but he can play in the centre. His all-round game's great. Now, he's South Korean, but he's not classed as a foreigner, which is even better. But he's the kind of player I'm going to need, I reckon, if I want to try and get in the top 3. My number 1 striker is another good regen that I've got. That's one thing about this. It's like they've given us regens, good ones. There's no defenders. Trying to build a good defence is well hard. There's no good defenders in China or anywhere. It's hard. That's the one thing. We're all going to be great going forward. Crap at the back. My goalkeeper, the guy I just talked about earlier, Rondinelli, Brazilian, 27 years old. For this league, brilliant. I was really worried about going to China just from my past experiments and knowing. I thought that rule was still in place, so I thought I'm going to have some shit Chinese goalkeeper. I don't have to. I've got this fella, and I think this league is going to be like Peter Schmeichel and David De Gea had sex and gave birth to a love child. What I will explain is, you have them 4 foreigners, and you can only sign 5 Chinese players. So it's a game of moving about. So it's like, do I need that foreigner? Because I can get a Chinese right winger. He wants to come. I'll sign him. Can get rid of you. Frees me up a foreign spot to improve my team. And that's what I wanted to do. I couldn't find any defenders. So I wanted to get 2 lads in from abroad as centre-halves. This is when your pad comes in very handy. Write out your positions. I'll write goalkeeper. I'll write them out with spaces for names, and then I fill the spaces. Make sure I'm moving everything around. It can be quite complex, really, but it's fun. And this is one of the guys I've brought in this year. It didn't cost me too much money. He's worth 16 million. He's called Bosniak, I think. 27-year-old from a country that creates awesome centre-halves. Next player is another foreigner and a player that was already at the club, and am I glad he was at the club because he's great. 30 years old, Christian Oliver, Uruguayan, right? Only played for his country once. So in other countries, maybe in Europe, he won't be a great player, but in this country, this kid who's determined with the passing of 14 and techers of 15 is going to be great, especially in the VOLCANO tactic. This player I picked up from one of our rivals because he was transfer listed. I don't know why. He's 22, he's Chinese. His technicals aren't great. I love his mentals, determined, leader, teamwork, and he's going to play as a defensive midfielder anyway. So he'll be great in my tactic. My left winger is a regen 28-year-old Mexican who's not classed as a foreigner. I don't know why. Already at the club. And again, this league, his pace and his crossing and his dribbling and his technique are going to be top class for me. So I'm really happy to have him. On my right wing, he's more of a central player, but he can play out on the right, naturally. It's a real player, already at the club as well. I've not signed the geezer. Matthew Sionio. I was calling him Matt. 29-year-old Brazilian. He's going to be my right winger. I found this guy. He's playing for Yongchang, who are not as good as us. So he wanted to come. Didn't cost me hardly a penny. Couple of million quid. But in this league, another leader with great pace and good tackling. Oh, happy with this guy. My other central midfielder is another regen, 27-year-old Chinese lad called Liu Zijun. Already at the club. One of the players the game's created. And again, he's going to fit my new tactic pretty well, I think. Got some good skills. Now, I needed another centre-half. My defence was appalling, really. And although the other guy's quite a good lad, this one's not bad. Satkar, calling him. 31-year-old Slovakian who isn't a world beater, but I think in this league he's going to do me a job. For some reason, we've got Dave. Dave Gooden from Towerbridge Wells. I think that's how you say it. He's English. He's a regen. He's already here. He's not a foreigner. It's the most random player ever. Now, Dave isn't great, but this is the best left back I've got. And can I find another one? No. Well, I did, but that's how I found out about you can only sign the so many player rule, I think, because I've signed a couple of squad fillers, right? I might show you later. They're nothing great. Before I realised that rule was a thing. So when it actually came down to the player I really needed, the left back, it was too late. I'd already signed 5 Chinese players. So it got cancelled. So we stuck with Dave. The English fella, who's pretty shit. He's quick. Hopefully that does us something. So that's my squad. That's my main 11 anyway. And they're not that bad, you know. Comparing them against the other top teams, I thought my tactic kicks off like it has done on my Denton Villa series and for Marseille. Surely I'll do well. I'm under no pressure to do well. The board only want me to finish in the top half. I want the Champions League. We need to get top 3. And I was excited because I really believed it was quite an equal playing field. It's going to be down to tactics, really, not players. Seriously. If I had time, I might show you some of the other guys' players. They've got some good regens, but I really think it's down to tactics. Now, another good thing I was thinking about is all them bigger teams above us are all in the Champions League. It's just like in Europe. They've got extra games to play that we haven't, so that's got to be an advantage. But we do have to play in the Chinese FA Cup. Something I would like to win. You want to win everything, don't you? But one thing I always preach, and I think it's super important, because I do know some people don't ever bother, it's your staff help. Now, when I went in for the Paris job that I got turned down for, and then I got the Marseille job, and even Salernitana and so on, I've always gone into them interviews with not much reputation, and I've had to lie, and you look up at the top what the chairman wants, and I answer the question to suit them, to try and get the job. Tell them what they want to hear, right? Well, with this, I wasn't going to do it. There was enough Chinese jobs going. If I didn't get this, I'll get one other. So I went into that interview thinking, I don't care. I'm doing what I want, right? I got stuck with people at Marseille I didn't want to have. So in this one, I told them I want to play attacking football, I want to buy big name players, and I want my own staff. And they're not bad. Now, they're not as big as Marseille. It's probably a third of the size. They're not as good as my Marseille staff, right? But they're a lot better. And we've gone from having one of the worst staff to pretty much having the best staff across the board, apart from that, where we're second behind Shandong, right? We've got the best coaching staff, the best scouting, I'm thinking, yeah, forget that bit. And we've got the best medical team. And of course, going forward, I was going to use the VOLCANO, that's what it's called now. We've changed it to the VOLCANO because of the 2 guys in the middle called Vol. I can never remember what it is, but this tactic, I love it. Absolutely love it. So Denton Villa, we're Sky Bet League 2, doing really well with it. Marseille, we did well with it. If I do well with it here, it obviously translates across continents, across player quality. So this is the current champions team, Jiangsu Suning. Now, quickly, so I'll show you what I'm coming up against. So this is the club itself, bigger stadium than ours, current champions, they're in the Champions League. Let's have a look at their best 2 players. The first one is a centre-half I wish I had. There's not many, but with all these regens that the computer's created, being China manager would be a lot of fun. Bet he could do something with this new China team. But he's probably the best Chinese defender in the country. And their other best player, they've got quite a few, is their striker, who is very good. He's probably better than ours, average rating wise, attribute wise, he looks good. Dukic from Croatia, 25-year-old regen. This is Shanghai Shangang. Now they're the favourites to win the league, so they must have some good players. They played a big stadium as well, the Shanghai Stadium. Now their best player is Ricardo Simão, who's actually Portuguese, 26-year-old central midfielder, someone who'd walked straight into my team as well. There's a lot of good players. Defensive maybe not so great, but there's a lot of good attacking players, real players and regens in this league. Another one of their good players is 22-year-old Chinese fella Li Jian, who got a great free kick and a great leader as well, got a bit of speed. Probably be a great striker. And again, another good player. So I think we're quite equal. To be fair, these two teams have probably got the edge on me. So it's going to be down to the tactic, and the tactic pushes through like it has done in the past. This is my assistant, Mr. Arakic, Croatian, 56 years old. And he's really good. I was really happy to find him. None of my old boys wanted to come, surprisingly. Why would you not want to come to China and eat food with eyeballs? Do you know what I mean? Why not? But I think he's very good, so I'm really happy. I'm happy with all my staff. But most of my staff stayed in my last job, right? We didn't have a huge exodus. But my last job, obviously, they had to replace me. And for the first time, I was really angry with who they replaced me with. Why would you do that? I feel so sorry for my players now. They've gone from me playing attacking football, being a chilled out manager, being successful, right? My first year in Marseille was against Jose. He was at Paris, and because he didn't win the league, he got sacked. He's had a year out of management, my second year at Marseille, and now they've brought him into the job. Playing his boring football, his boring tactics, whinging, moaning, going on at his players. And they're third in the league. They're about 12 points off Paris at the top, and then miles behind Monaco as well, who are in second. Now at this point, I'm going through pre-season. We've got friendlies still to play, but I need to talk to you about something. Because I've made a bit of a mistake, right? Now, I have millions of files for this, for all my stuff. I save it because as a content creator, you don't want to lose things, which is ironic, really, but you don't want to lose stuff, and you want to be able to come back to points and talk about things and go back for information, all that stuff, right? And I put things in files, but I have a dump bin file thing, right? And for some reason, I've got the start of this, and we've got the end, and I put the middle bit in the wrong file, which then I was in autopilot and deleted, put it in the recycle bin, deleted, and then went, shit. So the middle section's gone. So we're going to be basically jumping to the end of the season. But there's been a lot to get through, really. New club, all the talk I've got to give. So I promise you, I'm going nowhere. Next season, definitely here at Beijing, I'm loving it, right? So next year, we're back to normal. I'm going to go through the season in a bit more detail. Well, here's the fixtures, and if you look at that, there's a lot of green. I had so much fun with this, right? I don't know if it's because I've never done it before and I was super excited because I knew I was going to be sharing it with you guys. Plus, I'm loving this tactic. I love playing with it. I just love it so much. It's the best thing I've had in a long, long time. But normally, I spend all week doing this. I've got a full-time job. I've got a baby son. I've got a wife, dog, all that stuff. So I've put in an hour here, an hour there. It can take me all week. Some episodes I've had to play just before I started filming to get it finished, to film, to put out that night for you to watch, right? This time I did this in 2 days. 2 days. So normally I moan at my wife, sick of watching this. This week I was like, yeah, watch MasterChef. Yeah, go on. Housewives of Potomac. Knock yourself out, love. Watch 3 on the Run, because I was just on the laptop. Boom, boom, boom. Loving it. You don't know when you're coming at something like this, because it's all fresh and it's all new. I think this league will get better and stronger, and those at the top will start to break away, I think. The more years you play with it, the more natural it gets. But I do honestly believe it's the tactic and the fact that I went out there and used 2 of my foreign spots on centre halves instead of fancy attacking players. Some of these teams, it's all attack. It's all attack based, and you've got there's not many Chinese defenders, so you're struggling at the back. I thought, I've got 2 good centre halves. We found a good Chinese right back. And then we've got Dave, who had a freaking amazing season, Dave. He was ace. So that back 4 was brilliant. The goalkeeper, brilliant. Hardly had any injuries. And we won the league, losing 2, drawing 2, winning 26. Guaranteeing us the spot in the Champions League. That's 1 step towards my end game goal. But we're also playing in the FA Cup. We had no Champions League, no continental football. Could we do the double? That was the big question. And you come into this, unlike the English FA Cup, a round later in the 4th round. And our first game was against Qingdao. On to the 5th round. And we played Jiangsu. Beat them 1-0. Happy days. The quarterfinals, it begins to become double-legged. Which starts to get annoying, I think. Quarterfinals, 2 legs. Anyway, we played Tianjin, who took points off us in the league and beat them 3-0 in the first leg. But then we smacked their bottoms in their own stadium and beat them 3-0 again, winning 6-0 on aggregate, which took us into the semi-finals, double-legged semi, against Shangang, league favourites, not anymore. And we didn't beat them, we drew. But then we drew 2-2 again, to be honest, and we went through on penalties. Bit nail-biting, because I really wanted to get to the cup final. So on to the final, which is shittingly Two-legged. Who has a two-legged cup final? Should be one game, winner takes all. But luckily it is a two-legged final because we lost the first leg. But we were thwarted. The double dreams were dead. Really thought I was going to do it as well. I thought we were going to do them at our place, like 5-0. But we didn't. We drew 1-1. Cho Ji-sung, my South Korean midfield maestro, got us the goal. In a game that was pretty even. It was a draw. A draw written all over it, but they won. Now, Huaxi Xingfu, we're also in the Champions League final, which is a freaking double leg thing. Why? Two-legged Champions League final. So could they win 2 trophies? But then got beat 1-0 and lost the thing on away goals. Imagine losing a Champions League final on away goals. It just doesn't sound right. Just have one game in the final. Just one. There's many double like we do in Europe. Double leg the shit out of everything else. Final should be one game. Now, because I've lost my middle sections, we're into the new season, so it's reset everything stat-wise, which is super annoying because I want to show you some stuff. But Ji Li, my superstar striker, was amazing. What a player he was. So if you look at some of his stats-ish from last year, you'll see in the league, he was the league's top goal scorer with 38 goals in 27 games. Got to show you, Dave. I didn't think he was going to be any good. I'm probably even going to try and replace him in the summer. In fact, try and find someone half decent. Have to be a Chinese player. I hadn't got the foreign spots. But he was great. In the league, he played for me 27 times with an average rating of 7.49. Now, obviously, going into this new season, I reckon we can kick on a gear, but we're all going to kick on a gear, even the computer teams, because we're going to have extra Chinese players we can buy. Each year, you can buy the 5 good players at a good age. So, obviously, I scout anyway, but I've been scouting the hell out of China because what a good idea. There's guys on this list who are never going to sign because they're at rivals. But there's guys that you can sign, like the left back at Shandong here, is worth 8.5 million. We're better than them. I could probably work out a deal for him. There's quite a few, and to be fair, I've got a lot of targets all written down in my pad. I never trust a computer. I like pen, paper, and biro. But I've got a good few targets. I know which positions I want to strengthen. I know which foreigners I want to get rid of and replace. And I'm super excited because next year it's all about the Champions League. They're doing things I want now. When I first come in, you get the typical, you've not been here long enough. But we're doing our training facilities and we're also buying the stadium, which is all great things. It's showing the club's growing and it's what I like to do. Like I always say, even if I know realistically, like especially a series like this, I might be here for 3 years, 4 years, an absolute push like Salernitana. But I always play like I'm here forever. I think that's how you should play Football Manager. And going into this new season, for the next episode, we're not going to be the favourites again, which is weird. We've just won the league. But we do have a player, my star striker, who's made the Dream 11. It's not full of Jiang Sing bloody song players anymore. And I'm honest, I'll be honest with you, I've played half of this season and it's brilliant. It's brilliant. It's just way more competitive. Big teams are doing big things, which is great to see. It excites me. And I'm having a lot of fun. I didn't think I was going to. China wasn't even on my radar, but thankfully for the unflushable, cheers mate for pushing me towards it because it's been brilliant. And wherever I end up after this, I'm sure I'm going to be a better manager. I better speak Chinese. There we go, that is the end of the episode. As always, thanks for watching and thank you if you smash the like button, you're brilliant. If you comment, that helps me as well. Get involved, let's have a chat down below. Let me know what you think about me coming to China, about staying in China. Have you ever managed in China? What are your experiences of China? Because I'm loving it. I think it's been brilliant. Like I said, next episode will be a bit more detailed. I won't delete my files. And we'll go through the season a bit more step by step. I'll show you a lot more stats as we go along the way. Hopefully you're still enjoying the series and enjoying my other series and everything I do. I just appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch me play Football Manager. You're an absolute legend. You're my hero. You are. Just like Enrique Iglesias used to say. Remember him? That's you to me. Right. Thank you very much. Have a great day. You've been amazing. I've been Bood. And I'll see you next time.